So if he missteps, that might be wasted coin on him because we can't trust him in order to do the right thing. I mean, he's slightly loco. I mean, he was a stellar talent coming to Arizona State, but honestly, um, got concerns. If I sign him and bring him into the building and he leaves the building with a contract, I won't poo-poo it, but I definitely won't shed any tears if in fact he goes away without a contract. And as Manti Teo is concerned, um, I hope he finds love, much like AB and Derek Carr found love. That love is real and genuine, and that it reflects on the field, and he's a more well-developed, rounded, and emotionally stable young man. And that's as far as I'll go with that with him. And if not, my sister's single.
I love it. All right, well, so those of you that are on the YouTube feed, Aaron, we're kind of back up, but I don't know if they can hear us or how well they can hear us. You're definitely not going to be able to hear the calls. I can play them on the speakers here, try to play it out, but we're in the Sea of Fans mailbag now, so I figured I'd at least throw this here on the phone so you can see that because our internet's on the phone still work, but something happened with the hard line here in the fan cave, and I apologize. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, my computer internet just died there. So this is the best we're gonna do on short notice. So I appreciate you sticking with me. We love you guys. You rock, and we're gonna kind of make our way through the Sea of Fans mailbag here. All right, so we got another email. Aaron, you want to read that one too?
All right. Shoot. All right. Next one goes. Hi, Murph. Just wanted to talk about Gruden. This reminds me of the building of the 2002 Raiders. Antonio Brown equals Jerry Rice. LaMarcus Joyner equals Rod Woodson. It was exciting to watch that team be built, and it feels the same way again. We have 3 first-round picks this year and 2 next year. That's unreal. To all Gruden haters out there, everything is going to be all right. He just jump-started the Raiders, and I cannot wait to see the progress this year to next. Go Raiders, Leo.
Awesome. Appreciate that, Leo. That's Leo's second email now. That's 2 weeks in a row that we've heard from Leo. So we appreciate him.
Coming in like a lion.
Hey, oh, no. See? Why doesn't Mosh bring stuff like that to the table? Mosh, you didn't take notes on this, man. That was awesome. All right.
That was a take from behind the beard. That's how we did. Got one more email.
All right, one more.
Leo brought up some good points, but let's keep this thing going. Next up, Murph, Sonny, welcome back. It's evident Mayock is attacking free agency with a plan, and unlike Reggie's slow, methodical approach, Mayock seems to be willing to pounce on the guys that they covet. Remember how the media said that we have to draft someone as good as Mack to make the trade make sense? Well, according to my napkin, my napkin math, we gave up Mack a second, a conditional fifth for AB, 2 firsts and a third, a sixth, and a $5.5 million in cap space. Not too shabby. Sad to see KO go, but Trent Brown is a great pickup. Have a great day, guys. Ron the wrench, the Mater Raider, coming in with, I like that Trent Brown signing a lot. I like that one a lot. So something interesting that it came up when we did Mondays with Mikey and Murph just last week was about, now that we've signed this monstrous left tackle, what are we going to do now with Colton Miller? And Mikey, you brought up that Colton Miller played a lot of right tackle in college. Well, there's some truth to that. Colton Miller played 5 games at right tackle his junior year before he got hurt. We got this guy going there. So right. Chat's up. Chat, you guys rock. Thank you so much for hanging in there with us. Appreciate you guys. And as always, man, thank you so much. You guys rock. And in the chat, we got
please, because I can't see.
Jesse Rosales. We got Irish Raider.
This is crazy. All right,
so Raypick says he lost us.
Yeah, so I don't. It's you pay AT&T for all this freaking internet, and then the stuff craps out. AT&T, I'm atting you. This is not an endorsement for your services. Your AT&T fiber.
It's all Jerry Jones.
Gosh, bless
Jerry Jones and AT&T are one and the same.
I'm telling you, right? Oh my gosh, see, the world's against us, Q-Dog. You think we make this stuff up, man? The world's against Raider Nation. All right, so let's go to our first call. Our first call is a brand new crowned or soon to be crowned made man, and I'm gonna turn our mics down and turn this up, so hopefully those of you on the chat can hear it, and we're gonna hear from our buddy Alaska Raider.
Hey Murph, Uncle Mosh, this is Alaska Raider, man. What a good time to be a Raider fan. I mean, Gruden and Mayock, man, they're tearing it up. Woo! Go Raiders! Yeah!
Whoops. All right. There's our buddy Alaska Raider telling us go Raiders. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you, man. Go Raiders. And that was his third call to the show, Q Dog. So you know what that means.
Uh-oh. Cue it up.
You showed you are part of the family by participation. By chance, a man like yourself should make enemies, then they would become my enemies. Showing you are a friend of Raiders Fan Radio, you have leapt across the line. Friendship is everything. Friendship is more than talent. It is more than the government. It's almost equal to family. Be loyal. Made man, Raider fan. Someday, and that day may never come.
Alex Sandoval from Arizona. Just calling in today to talk about the Antonio Brown interview, and I thought it was a way to think about it. What do you guys think? Let me know. Thanks. Have a nice day. Bye.
All right. We touched on it a little bit there already. I'm having to switch like all these. I'm having to hit all the knobs and all the
Hit all
levers.
the knobs and stuff.
All
Do
the-
what you got to. We got a comment by Roach in the chat. He says AT&T is like Donald Penn. Does good all year till you need him, and he breaks your QB's leg for the playoffs. Strong, Roach.
Oh, that
I
is
feel you,
great.
baby.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
awesome. All right, well, we actually got another one here from Alex. So every time I play a call, I have to turn up the speakers, take off our headphones, turn our mics down so it doesn't get a lot of feedback. So there's a little bit of a process on each one. But all right, so here we're going to hear once again from our buddy Alex in Tucson.
Tomas Murph, this is Alex Sandoval from Tucson, Arizona. I'm listening to a podcast that is put out by the Raiders. It's on their official website. But anyways, there's an interview on there with Mike Mayock, and I think his name is Eddie Pascal. And Mike Mayock is talking about the release of AJ McCarron and Jordy Nelson. It's funny because if you think back, Gruden made some comments stating that Nelson would be signing with the Raiders to play in 2019 and give him that guaranteed money back in December. Since then, everyone kind of just assumed that he was going to be back in Oakland for 2019. Mike Mayock was talking about how it was a hard decision for him to let go of Jordy Nelson and AJ McCarron because he didn't know them personally, but he had to make a decision that was in the best interest of the Raiders. And to me, that shows that Mike Mayock's here to win. He's not there to feel bad because you were to give somebody like guaranteed money. He doesn't want to take them away from the team. He's doing what is necessary for the Raiders to be winners, and I love that. I absolutely love that he's not scared to make a decision that might upset people. It's gutsy, and I can appreciate that. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks. Have a nice day.
All right, there we go. So yeah, great stuff. Great call there from Alex. Appreciate both those calls. And yeah, I'm with him, Q Dog. I love the way that Mike Mayock has approached this off season. I heard an interesting theory on the way the Raiders have been aggressive so far this off season, and that was that the collective bargaining agreement that the league is currently operating on is up in 2020.
Wow.
And that the Raiders are being super aggressive because it could be another potential work stoppage.
Yes.
There could be there's a lot of other factors in play that may have influenced their aggression in this offseason. What do you think to that?
I think you're on the money. I mean, whenever they come out with the new ULP, I mean, we may not have the same cap space or the ability to have the amount of money to spend like we're doing going into this offseason or coming out of this offseason.
Yeah.
If you want to look at it, the game may change and it may not change in our favor. So spend now, live later.
Absolutely. So I'm with Alex. I love the way this offseason has gone so far, but don't be surprised if the league dynamic changes here in the very near future. All right, we're going to hear from our buddy Beto, and Beto,
You know the city.
There we go.
Raider Beto, you know the city. You know what? I love this free agency season, or this off season, I should say. You know, this is the most memorable off season for the Raiders to date. Well, most memorable off season for me at least, because I've been really following the team since 2014, a little bit in 2013. The only thing I remember in 2013 was the Steelers game. It was like 34-31. Jano kicked the winning field goal. So anyway, yeah, you know, so I've been a Raider fan for what, 5 years? Damn. Time has gone from being 3-13 to 4-12. Anyway, we got some good free agent signings / trades. You know, thank you, KL. But, you know, we got our fifth rounder back. I believe I said that in the last call. You know, Tyrell Williams, that's a really good option. Number one, number two receiver, if you know what I mean. You know, if Antonio Brown is being double teamed and Tyrell Williams is open, and then vice versa. We got JJ Nelson, which is also really a fast guy. I'm not really sure about his catching and how he is. Marcus Joyner, you know, another short safety, but that's okay because he's really fast and we're going to need that speed for the AFC West. Especially, you know, Travis Kelce being in the division, Melvin Gordon, Keenan Allen, and who the Broncos have? Oh, yeah, they have no one. Other than Tyreek Hill, he might go to jail. So, you know, we might not have to worry about Tyreek Hill. So, anyway, then we also have, who else we signed? Oh, yeah, Trent Brown, which is really good. I believe he's going to be on the left side because Colton Miller, I believe he played right tackle throughout his college years. And then Brandon Parker is really a left tackle. So, you know, we're probably going to switch those positions. So, yeah, you know, want to make this quick call. But also, check out my Twitter. I made the worst poll I ever made. It's you have to pick between 4 jerseys to wear for the rest of your life. Number 1 is Randy Moss, 18. 99, Warren Sapp. Jamarcus Russell, number 2. And Rolando McClain, 55. I made this choice because, you know, it'd be funny, you know, as a joke. You know, it'd be easy, you know, to put Howie Long, Charles Woodson, the Snake, or, you know, Marcus Allen. But that'd be too easy. I'm going with the hard choice. Let's see how Raider Nation is. My Twitter is 27 Sliverbox. Go check that out and vote. And go Raiders.
All right, there we go. There's Raider Beto. You know the city. Of course, he's in Los Angeles. And, you know, interesting take there, Q-Dog. So I got a couple things for you. Let's do the player take first. Yes. He mentioned Tyrell Williams. And I'm a big fan of this signing, too. I know you are. Yeah. So let me hear your take. Why do you think this is such a significant signing for the Raiders?
He's 6'4". That's the first thing that catches my eye. I mean, you know, we've signed a lot of little people. And as a person, talking to another person who happens to be over 6'2", maybe 6'3", we don't need any more small receivers. I mean, you know, this isn't the greatest show on turf. I like what he did. I mean, and I'm sure you've got stats to back this up, but I think that Tyrell had an opportunity a couple of seasons ago to step up and assume the number 1 role, and he did it in really competent fashion. I mean, what kind of numbers did he put up?
Absolutely. So when we look at his career, so he's got 155 receptions on his career for 2,500 yards and 17 touchdowns. So, but the one that jumps out to me is the 2016 season. Keenan Allen went down with an injury. And I'm not just talking about to his hairline. I mean, this is...
Hey, man, that's quality shade right there, baby. Can't just get that, man. I can't.
And look, as a man who is equally follically challenged as Keenan Allen, I can say that, right? Yeah. But in 2016, when Keenan Allen went down with an injury, Tyrell Williams had 69 receptions, over 1,000 yards, and 7 touchdowns. So when it came time for him to step up as the number 1 wide receiver, he did it, and he did it well. Yeah. So to now, I mean, essentially, and look, he's only a number 2 because he's got the walking Hall of Famer Antonio Brown on the other side of him. Correct. Does this move officially give Derek Carr enough weapons to where he's now out of excuses?
I'd say so. And he did a lot of damage back whenever, you know, Phillip Rivers only had 7 kids. So he's got a track record of production.
That was what, 7 years ago?
What? Maybe 3 months. I mean, who knows? There's an incubator that shall not be viewed. But Hey, Tyrell Williams, I'll take this signing. We've observed him, within division, and it's finally good to have somebody that we don't have to worry about covering that will actually put a little trepidation in the other three teams in the division. Let them try to check this cat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I like, and you mentioned having a big body wide receiver.
Yes.
Having somebody that can win that 50-50 ball, that can win.
Yeah.
Look, Derek Carr had a lot of faith in
Crab
Michael
was doing
Carter.
it at 6'2".
Yes.
Crab was doing it at
Yes.
6'2". Now we've got, a couple of 6'4" guys. I like to see what Aitman's going to do in the red zone. So, I didn't mean to steal your thunder by any stretch of imagination, but I'm getting really kind of, torqued up about this receiving core. Now, if we can just get Seth Roberts to find the exit to the facility, I'm sure they're going to, do what they did in Pittsburgh whenever they packed up Lev Bell's locker. Something tells me there's a couple of Raiders that are sitting there with hefty bags clearing out that locker. He's got to go, man.
Somebody's got dibs on his cleats already?
His pumps, maybe. That's a pretty man. He's going to be making Maybelline commercials if this whole football thing doesn't work out. A little mascara, eyeliner, take a razor to the, cheeks.
No, we'll go with Chucktown Raider.
Not a problem.
This is craziness.
Hey, Mert. Hey, Moss. Hey, little Mert. This is the Chucktown Raider calling from South Carolina. And, man, I gotta tell you, a few days ago, I heard some things that, man, I tell you what, you were aggravating, man. Now I got me a squirrely hair going up you know where, and I have to take care of this, man. The first thing is, has to do with that fellow that, Sheldon came to my call. The question was raised or was stated that, that individual won. He got his money and he won. Well, I don't know about you, but whether or not Chicago Bears want to be Oakland Raiders, it's not my concern, unless we're hoping to trade for him. But the next one is about this fellow. I'm not going to speak his name either. Let's just call him CK. So remember that fragrance blue so ambiguous, CK1. Anyway, this fella, it was raised, the question was raised about whether or not he was colluded against, people ganged up on him, make sure he didn't have a job. Well, as far as I can remember, he had several offers that were left on the table to stay with the 49ers. He decided to be unemployed, but in addition to that, isn't he negotiating with the minor league, saying he wants $20 million? And at the same time, we got people in the NFL or the NFL circles that are saying, well, he could be a backup quarterback, he could be a third-string quarterback. He's good enough. He deserves a shot. He needs to be on the team. Well, good luck finding a team that's going to pay a third-string or backup quarterback $20 million, number one. Number two, I don't care what you're doing in the NFL. If you're killing people, if you're beating people, you're beating your kids.
It's still going strong and still on time.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. All right. It must be rolling off my phone then.
Yeah,
okay, all right, good
They're
deal.
crushing AT&T though. Everybody's like,
Are they?
oh man. I typed in his name. Jerry Jones is a corporate partner of AT&T. Draw your own conclusions. AT&T gets the sizzler tonight. Later on.
Well, there's nothing you can do in God's finger to get you back on that football field.
All right, let's see there. All right, got the gist of your call there, Chucktown Raider. Appreciate the call, my friend. He's kind of going on a topic that came up on Mondays with Mikey and Murph. Mikey loves to dissect the Kaepernick situation, so he likes to go in on that. We really hadn't covered it a lot here on Raiders Fan Radio, and is that something you want to weigh in on at all?
No.
Okay, all right. Look, it is what it, to me. I look at it like this: it's over. It's over. And if there's a Raider take to be had on it, I think Al Davis would have been a good influence on Colin during his, during his, what you call it, man? I call it protest.
There was a secret meeting. There was a seance. There was a blood handshake, and he shall never play again in the NFL. That's it. There was a lot of back and forth politically. Don't want to get into that because, we're just going to light up the board and we don't need to do that. That time is past. on all sides.
Perfect. All right, good deal. We'll appreciate the call though, Chuck Down Raider. Call us back, and we'll take all calls, but that was kind of a Mondays with Mikey Murph thing here on Raiders Fan Radio. That's not a topic we hadn't really gotten into a lot of, and for really pretty specific reasons why. Because no one wins.
This show will go till midnight.
Exactly, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so anyways, but all right, so let's go with our buddy. Let me pull the headphones here. Houston Raider Steve.
Murph Mosh, this is Houston Raiders Steve. I've got a funny story. Back in 2010, the Raiders were playing up there in Pittsburgh, and I had this cake made. It said, "Bury the Steelers." It had the assassin, Dr. Death, Skip Thomas, not cartoon character wannabe. And anyway, so they played this game. Obviously up in Pittsburgh, I go in Molly's Pub, my Raider bar and everything, and had this cake made. And I walk in the back room where all the Steeler fans were, me being the only Raider fan, and there's about 30 of them to one of me. And so I'm watching the game, and it's getting worse and worse, and we're getting our butts kicked and everything. And I had that cake in a box, and I'm like, hell no, I'm not going to take this cake out of the box right now. My friend Kelly, she's a huge Raven fan, waitress I've known for years, walks up to me and said, "Hey, Steve, what do you want to do about the cake? You want to start serving it?" And I said, "No, we're getting our tails kicked like a one-legged pirate." Anyway, so I said, "Can you put that in the cooler?" And so she put it in the cooler. And so anyway, that was that game when Richard Seymour threw the punch at Ben Roethlisberger and everything, got ejected out of the game. I thought, you know what, even though we're getting our tails kicked, and Roethlisberger got punched and everything, at least he got punched by Seymour and everything, even though our team totally sucked that game. So anyway, so after the end of the game, I waited till all of the Steeler fans filed out, except when my friend has moved away and everything now. And I said, let's get a picture of this cake and everything, because I didn't have the stones to serve it while you guys were kicking our tail and everything in this game and everything. So we had our pictures of the cake and everything. So that's my memory of that game. 35-3. I'll never do that again, especially against the Steelers. No more bury the Steelers cake. The reason why I didn't serve that cake, but bury the Steelers cake when we were down 35-3, I was afraid either I was going to be wearing that cake or having 30 Steeler fans doing a tag team against little old me and everything, Raider fans, at Molly's and everything. So I didn't want it to be a WWE match. Great show. Bye.
Nice.
All right, much appreciated, Houston Raider Steve. As always, Houston Raider Steve is kind of like our Sea of Fans historian.
Yeah.
Like he's always got great calls about different experiences, different things that have happened in Raider Nation. And have you ever been in a situation like that where you've been, because you're out of market like I am, like Steve is. You ever been out rooting for the Raiders somewhere and gotten into a weird spot because the team is underwhelmingly performing?
Not really. I mean, I'm 6'5". I'm a big fella. Talking about and you got all 32 teams represented, but you know what? They back off Raider fan. You had a couple of the Steelers, kind of pipe up. Yeah, 6 rings. Not against us. Not against us.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Now, I know they had, their share of victories during the 70s. It always came down to the Raiders and the mustard and black, and they won those games more times than not, with the exception of 76. But the thing is, I mean, we have 99 problems, and the Steelers continue not to be one. We own them all time.
We sure do.
And they pipe down, and I was with Raider Ramon on my trek cross country, and he was at that game that, was just brought up by Houston Steve, where Roethlisberger was carted off, man. So he had excellent insight. And if he would ever call in the show, I'm sure he could give further in-depth backup to me bringing that little point up. But
come on, Raider Ramon.
I don't know when to call.
24/7.
Leave a message.
That's it. You call, you get my voice. If you haven't heard it enough, you get it on the dang message machine there.
Oh, let me look in the chat. All of a sudden, Raider Ramon, MK42. What you saying, Q? I said what I said. Is this thing on? I said what I said.
The internet's not on, but that microphone is.
You got 0 calls, homie. You're one of the hardest Raider fans I've ever met. But you're one of the weakest callers since AT&T started connecting people from one point to another electronically. Work that out, homie.
909-345-3346. The Raiders Fan Radio Hotline is always open.
Love you, Ramon.
All right, next up, let's go to your old stomping grounds. We're going to go hear from our buddy Jesse in Kentucky.
Go Cats.
Murph, Mosh, Raider Nation. This is Jesse in Kentucky, a.k.a. the Refrigerator Raider, looking over the Raiders' off-season additions. And got to tell you, boys, man, I'm really, really happy. Everybody knows about the defensive side of the ball, and how we needed to address that or whatever. But last year, Derek Carr, he got sacked a lot, but a lot of that just wasn't on the O-line play. I mean, well, all of it was on the O-line play, but a lot of that had to do with the lack of weapons that the Raiders had on the outside, which is why I didn't like the Amari Cooper trade, because of, the way that teams were shading coverages to his side. When they traded him, the coverages evened out, right? Because they knew Jordy Nelson wasn't going to be able to create no separation on the outside, and yada, yada, yada. It just went downhill from there. So, with that being said, Tyrell Williams. This guy was one of my number one guys that I looked at in the free agency market and said, if the Raiders are going to sign any offensive weapon, this is the dude. And we got the dude. So now, you complement him with Brown. That's very, very exciting. The only question is that I have is that I was originally looking at this as more like that Jerry Porter type role, because I think that's why we traded for Martavis a year ago. Of course, that didn't work out. But the contract would suggest that they actually intend to use him not just like that Porter type role, but they're actually going to balance out that offensive out. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, he's a young for taking my call. I'd like to know what you guys think on Tyrell Williams signing. Like I said, I'm really, really excited myself. I thought that this was one of the main things we needed to do was ink this dude, and we got him. So thank you so much. Goodbye.
All right, there we go. We kind of hit Tyrell Williams pretty good. You know what I mean? We're excited about that one too, Jesse. Appreciate the call. And I'll tell you what, since we did get the caller from Kentucky, and we got a man from Kentucky sitting here to my right,
yes.
Let's talk about the guy that you called from a mile away. Yeah. The guy that, we've kind of highlighted some players that we would like the Raiders to go after with the number 4 pick. And I think it's pretty much unanimous that if he's available, this is the guy that we want. Tell us about him.
Josh Williams. Been watching this guy for the better part of 3 seasons. His development coming into the University of Kentucky as a 2-star prospect out of Montclair, New Jersey, to play SEC football, did not redshirt. And to put up the numbers in consecutive seasons, I think last year he could have come out, would have been maybe a mid-second round pick with 7 sacks in the SEC, second-team All-SEC performer. And then after another year, he near tripled that as far as his sack production and tackles for loss. This guy is ready-made. He's got a work ethic. He's a self-starter. Even though Gruden traditionally does not like young players, he's got to love the will, the drive, the motor on this guy, and the will to compete. He gives you a lot of things that we have not had in a draft pick in quite a while, with the exception of
except for that one guy. Yeah,
he became a generational talent once he
right.
Imagine that. Yeah.
But this guy's got a lot of the same characteristics, right? Very similar player, aren't they?
He's taller. He's more rangy, and he can put on more muscle. With our strength and development program inside the building, it's scary to think what Josh Allen might become. He's faster than he who shall not be named as well. So he may not have the raw strength, but he's faster, he's longer, and he's got a nose for the sack. But here's one thing that we hadn't talked about, and it comes up quite often.
Okay.
He can defend the pass. You can drop this guy in coverage. I mean, he can actually take on a back out of the backfield, step for step, and not just covered, in a limited range, within 15 yards. No, he's actually covered out in the flat on wheel routes all the way to the end zone, 25, 30 yards out. So
he can follow Melvin Gordon out or whoever else, right?
He can do all the things that our little safeties on paper may not be able to do. So I've gone on enough about this guy, but I was in early on him because, frankly, I had just seen more of him. That's all.
Okay. Well, you called it, and your calls early on resonated with me just because I live here in SEC country, and then they played my school, Middle Tennessee State University.
And I've got questions about that later on in the show.
All right, and I saw Josh Allen up close and personal, and how dominant he can be. Now, granted, MTSU is a smaller Division I school.
No discount. But they've got a good tradition of football.
Absolutely, really, and they're competitive, and it's a good program. So, but you get up against
Stockstill as a coach.
Absolutely, and his son Brent is our quarterback, and you get up against
graduating senior.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Right.
And you get up against elite SEC talent, and sometimes they kind of have their way with a school like MTSU. But there wasn't no doubt about Josh Allen's his talent and what he was bringing. And I'll give you just some numbers to support it. You guys know I love the numbers. Over the last 2 seasons, Josh Allen has rushed the quarterback 520 times. Mm-hmm. That equals about 1.25 seasons for most pass rushers. In that time, he has 24 sacks, 24 quarterback hits, and 50 hurries. The guy is there all the time. And I think that when you look at the granted, Arden Key didn't close the deal on a lot of plays this year, but he was there all the time. That's the kind of guys that you want. You want guys that have a nose for the football. They're active. They're involved in every single play, right? And so if we got one guy up that put Josh Allen on one side and Key on the other, I like it. I like the way it's looking. I like the way it's
number
headed.
52 and number 51 again. I mean, hopefully younger and a little bit more dialed in.
Absolutely. But I think it's great. I'm glad you were here to talk about Josh Allen. I was kind of saving him up because he isn't the guy. Like if we all want him to be.
Right.
But should not be. Mm-hmm. What other edge rusher would you? I mean, and we got Zach Allen of Boston College. You got Montez Sweat. You got Clean Farrell can play out there. Like if Josh Allen is the one, who's the 2 or the 1B?
From the list of individuals that you gave, I would say that we go interior line again and Quinn Williams.
Really? Alabama. Okay.
And the reason why I say
even though we got 900 defensive tackles,
but we have none of them will cause us dead money. So why hang on to unproven marginal talent? Vander does what has he done? Very little.
Very little. And got hurt and splashed early.
He was a reach whenever we got him in the second round 2 seasons ago, and we were panned by Mike Mayock of all people. Did not like the pick, and he was vocal about it, but nobody dredges that up. You have to come to this radio station to find that kind of analysis. And you can YouTube that. But the thing is, we could absolutely shore up the interior of the line because I heard it said before, whenever you go out and you get draft picks and you want to spend money on free agents, you do it through the middle. Whether it be a middle linebacker, whether it be a safety, whether it be a center, a quarterback, or a running back. And then everything outside of that 1 or 2 or maybe possibly 3 technique, I mean, it has to be a proven commodity. Other than that, you're rolling the dice. How many edge rushers have been drafted over the past 20 years that simply have not panned out? And how many people that we have seen come from later rounds, a Strahan,
good point,
and just be lights out just because you can get those individuals at lower levels of the draft. So I think we can do that. I would hate to reach for Montez Sweat, and I think he's a phenomenal talent, but he's got everything that can flame out. I mean, he's a body Adonis. I mean, he's a freak at the combine, but how many freaks at the combine have actually panned out? DHB.
Obi Melifonwu, Bruce Campbell, right? There's a long list of those guys, unfortunately. Yeah,
and they've got a lot and unlike our coach at the Senior Bowl, they've got a lot of logos slapped on the top of their helmets that look like silver and black, man. We've missed because that's that low-hanging fruit. So let's do something that's responsible.
Absolutely. Great stuff there, Q-Dog. All right, let's go. We got one left to get to before we close up the Sea of Fans mailbag, and that is our buddy Ron in Ohio. I almost said Alliance. I said Alliance and Ohio at the same time. It came out in Ohio. Ron in Ohio.
I drove through Ohio.
Oh, I forgot I got to turn this up. Okay, here we go.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ron. I want to start out wishing Q-Dog happy anniversary. Congratulations, man. And I just got done reading that Manti Te'o is coming in for a visit, and I did a little research on him, and it sounds like his girlfriend is a real distraction, sort of like Nico Grimes is. But who knows? This story's about her. Could be completely made up. I was also looking up this wide receiver we signed, Tyrell Williams, and I'm not sure. It looks like he played for an NFL Europe team, maybe French. I think it's La Chargeurs. I can't find any information on him in the NFL, though. So it seems like he's a pretty good pickup. If you got any information on him, let me know. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
All right, there's our buddy Ron in Alliance Ohio. Great job, Ron. That's pretty funny.
He's always funny.
His girlfriend sounds like she's made
we
up.
got a little something going on in the chat. There's some buzz. Looks like Vontaze Burfict might have left the building with some ink on a piece of paper, man. He might be a Raider. I could be wrong, but that's what's looking like it's trending in the chat.
Well, if we had the internet, we could look it up. But wow, so we're gonna have to trust.
There's a history there, dude. We're gonna put this in a petri dish, shake it up, put it under the heat, and see what grows tomorrow. AB and Burfict do not like each other. Remember? I think it was season before last. AB cleated Montez Burfict.
Yeah,
there's a little beef there,
there's
man.
Big beef there. Yeah.
So let's see.
What do you think about? Now, let me ask you about Burfict. I like the attitude. I like his.
He's
play.
a Raider through and through.
But he's also a headhunter. And there's sometimes, man, I look at him play and I'm like, all right, enough with that.
Oh man, I tell you, man, this is
I mean, Gunther loves him. Gunther's gonna. We need an inside linebacker.
His fingerprints
back.
are all over this. His fingerprints are all over this.
Right.
And as much as I was clamoring for C.J. Mosley, I think this might have been Gunther's plan the entire time. He knows Gunther's system, much like Reggie Nelson was a product of Gunther's system in Cincinnati, and that did not pan out. But he was a known commodity to Gunther. So Burfict also is a known commodity and might reap dividends because he's a considerable lot younger than Nelson was. Fire the Nelsons hashtag.
It worked.
But I'll take Burfict. I mean, I'm heartburn.
Yeah, he's 28 years old. I mean, look, and maybe he'll mature a little bit. The only thing that I would be concerned with is that the Raiders, we already got a target on us.
Yeah. It's that. I have no outside, no external links. So I'm just following your vibe. I got a thumb on the pulse of the room. And it looks like Montez Burfict is going to be donning the silver and black. Number 55 is available. But we'll see.
There we go. All right. Well, appreciate everybody calling us this week. That's the Sea Fans mailbag, 909-345-3346. Appreciate the emails as well. And of course, we got to award our Sizzler for the week. So Aaron, the Q-Dog Raider, what do you think? Who gets the Sizzler this week?
Man, it was a 2-horse race, but I got to go with Refrigerator Raider. I'm going to give it to the homie.
Sizzler.
All right, congratulations to Jesse in Kentucky. You are our Sizzler Award winner this week. And I figured that you'd give it to the homer there, to your guy from Kentucky. That's
home cooking, man.
Nothing wrong with it. All right, so let's see. Appreciate everybody calling us this week, and we us Raiders, man, and this show apparently is a rogues gallery, right?
That it is. Now for something different.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. That's fitting.
And now for something completely different.
I can't even find the thing on Mosh's. There it is.
We are Metallica and we are here.
We're not playing around.
From The Walking Dead to Era Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
All right, I'm getting my cardio in over here, going back and forth, switching all these dang buttons and knobs. And talk about, boy, Chuck, on the Fan Club Blitz, they joke often about jiggling the wires and turning the knobs and spinning the dials and moving the whatever. I'm doing all that stuff today. It's craziness, man. It's just crazy. Although it's funny how this stuff works because the podcast.
Yeah.
None of this will ever none of this will show up on the podcast.
They won't see your sweat. They won't see, what I'm saying, your
glasses
technical
fogged
support.
up.
Now, in the chat, Mike Sanchez, the original Mike Sanchez, has confirmed 1 year, $5 million for Burfict.
That's a perfect deal. And
that takes our salary cap down to.
I
think you got some numbers.
Sure does.
This.
All right, so $5 million a year takes the Raiders down to $33 million. That is going to bump them down to now 5th in the league. Currently sitting, Colts are at $65 million. Jets are at $43. The Raiders were at $38, and now going to drop them down. To a cool $33 million. It's funny because that's still a lot of cap room, and we've signed how many guys now?
By my count, I'd say 5.
5.
And we had a left tackle that we brought in that broke the bank. I mean, he set the mark for linemen. And we still have now $30 million in order to play
$30
with.
million. And you know what? We only spent 10 million more. Well, I don't know what Burfict's guaranteed number is going to be, but whatever, regardless. I mean,
I'm pretty sure it's incentive
assume it's $5 million.
Right.
We've only spent $10 million more guaranteed than 52, singularly. That's insane when you think about it like that.
But let me go ahead and poke you like this.
Please.
We just let 7.2 million walk out the door in Jordy Nelson and replace him with 5 million for a position of need. And we're still 2.2 to the good, if my math is good.
It's better than mine.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful, man. That's
Think about that.
right. Like, because what's Jordy? I mean, let's.
His number is just too big to be our fourth
It's too
receiver.
much.
We just re-signed Harris, so Dwayne Harris is, for all intent and purpose, our fifth receiver.
Yes.
I mean, Roberts has to go.
Absolutely, I'm with you.
He doesn't even play special teams well.
No, absolutely not. So I'm with you on that. All right, let's go ahead and get one more segment here before we get out. Again, thank you to the chat. You guys are the best. Appreciate everybody hanging in with us. I don't know how many of you are left, but appreciate you sticking with us during this little internet fiasco we've had here on the show today. So appreciate you guys sticking with us. I can't even scroll to see who's there. Q-Dog, can you shout out some of the guys that are there?
We got Raider Critique in the chat, Irish Raider in the chat, Pirate 1975 as usual. We've got Ron. He's always in there coming strong. And of course, Raider Ramon the Thorn is an unknown commodity, but I think he's going to bring the pain in 19.
Oh man, I'm me too. I'm hoping he's going to be our Derrick Henry. That's my hopes. All right, so in our Rogues Gallery clip that we play, you hear James Hetfield, lead singer of Metallica, and in being a metal aficionado that you are, Q-Dog, I'm sure you know exactly who that is. So, but that clip
That
is
with the hair.
that clip is from when the Raiders played in the parking lot of the Oakland Coliseum before the 2002 Oakland Coliseum before the 2002 AFC Championship game. And we always close out our show with a segment, or not always, but recently we've been closing out our show with a segment we call Raiders and Pop Culture. And so there was one sent in a few weeks ago that was LL Cool J on a television show called In the House, and he played a former Raiders running back, and I was going through the YouTube machine trying to find a clip of him saying something to the effect of, playing for the Raiders or something. Well, I couldn't find it, but what did come up in my search was LL Cool J playing halftime of the 2002 AFC Championship game, the same game that Metallica played in the parking lot. And while I can't share the music because it's all copyrighted, I would at least like to mention that because I did want to acknowledge that's a pretty significant couple of acts to play. One in the parking lot before the game and one to play at halftime.
Could you imagine that?
Oh, that's awesome. Like, if you don't, I mean
Metallica's not chopped liver. I mean,
they're the biggest metal band of all time, and LL Cool J is arguably one of the biggest, and certainly at the time, he was the biggest rapper. For us guys old enough to go back to radio and all that. Like,
his lips were moist.
But I mean, that's cool, man. That's some cool star power, man. That's what the Raiders bring to the table, man. They bring star power.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Ice Cube is obviously the big, as far as hip hop acts, he's the biggest Raider fan there is. But but definitely LL Cool J held it down in that performance, and that was pretty cool. I don't know if you remember, he was wearing a Jerry Rice jersey, and it was one of those ones that's like split in half.
I gotta see it.
The front part of it.
The
front part of it is the away jersey, and the back part's the home.
Okay.
Like it's like a split jersey. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. So anyway, so that's our Raiders and Pop Culture this week. All right, so Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, I cannot thank you enough, my friend, for adorning the southern annex of the Murph's Fan Cave desk. I know Uncle Mosh will be proud. And despite all the technical difficulties that we had tonight, you did an amazing job riding shotgun this week, and I'm so thankful that you joined us here in the Fan Cave, and welcome to Middle Tennessee, and welcome to the crib, man.
And I got to ask you before we sign off.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the helmet right behind you, probably at your 5 o'clock. I've always wondered this about Middle Tennessee. What was with the Pegasus snorting lightning bolts? They're the Blue Raiders, right?
Yeah.
That is a white Pegasus, right?
Yeah, it's a Pegasus. Yeah. It's that's Lightning. That's the name of the light.
Oh, okay.
The mascot's name is Lightning. Yeah.
All right. I can dig it.
Yeah, because I guess Pegasus are Raiders.
Are they?
Because our team is the Blue Raiders.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess the horse is a blue. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I play video games too. I mean, I always saw that, man. I was like, man, what's the correlation? But okay, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what the horse and the Blue Raider have in common. I don't know. I'll tell you,
like RFR, it's like an inside joke that nobody else is in.
It absolutely might be. And I'll tell you though, when I moved here though, and I saw that the local school was the Blue Raiders, I'm like, all right, this is cool. I'm like,
it's destined.
It's Raidery. I'm like, I'll take it.
It's got Raider drizzle on it.
I'm just waiting for somebody to get drafted by the Raiders at MTSU. That's going to be my ultimate in. I was
stock still. We need a backup.
Well, I know, right? Yeah. Well, you know who I was hoping for was Kevin Byard. When he came out of MTSU, he got drafted by the Titans and ended up making a Pro Bowl. Like, he led the league in interceptions for a little while at safety, and we needed a safety. I'm like, then maybe
we always need a safety. We
always
need a middle linebacker.
I know, right? Hey, we got some more.
Jack Tatum's not walking through that door. Charles Woodson is doing Saturday.
Oh my gosh.
What's up with Chuck Woodson? I mean, there was rumors that he might be being recruited to have a role in the organization. Am I off base? I could be.
I'm rooting for it. I know you are. I mean, it would be awesome. I mean, he's one of those guys, I think, that, he carries the mantle for Raider Nation. I don't care that he was a Packer for 7 years. We just pretend that doesn't exist.
Instant credibility.
Absolutely. I think it would be awesome. I think it would be great. I don't know about a coaching role or anything, but definitely as part of the organization would be amazing. All right. Well, thank you again for joining us here on this episode of Raiders Fan Radio. You can always follow us on the YouTubes. That's youtube.com/Murph's Fan Cave. Find us on any podcast feed. Just search for Murph's Fan Cave. That's MURFS Fan Cave. You can call the show 909-345-3346. And if I can talk any faster, I'll get out that you can email the show at RaidersFanRadio.com. Aaron, the Q-Dog Radio, you got anything for Raider Nation before we let you get out of here?
Sure do. Light a candle for Mosh. He's in our hearts and minds.
I know, I never bailed him out. I forgot about that. Dang it. I guess I got to go get him. You got any insights on that?
Yeah. Put a little money in his commissary. He could use that. Prison ain't free, y'all. Prison is simply not free. Allegedly.
All right, Nation. Appreciate y'all joining us as always. And don't forget what happens in Vegas
started in Oakland.
All right, guys.
Big Raider Trucker, big ups.
See you, YouTube. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Appreciate y'all. This will be the first time I voluntarily turned this thing off. Usually it just quits on its own. Thanks, AT&T. You suck, AT&T. You suck, you suck, you suck. At them, tweet them, tell AT&T they blow from the guys at Raiders Fan Radio.
Pirate 1975, great show. Freddie Chavez.